What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Gio and this is
Gio's World.
So I know it's been a minute since I made a video and I'm sorry. I've been really busy. Been house hunting, I've been working on new projects that I will be sharing with you guys very soon, so be on the lookout for that, okay? Today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the pros and the cons of being on testosterone. Ding. I have been on and off testosterone for about 4 years now. March of this year made it 4 years that I've been on. And it's been a lot of changes. A lot of them.
Ciao.
So I'm gonna talk to you guys about that today. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot, you know, knowing that you guys like my content and all that jazz. So yeah, thanks.
Wow.
Anyway, so when I first started T, I was 21. This was back in 2021. Anyway, I hit up a friend of mine who I went to high school with, and he had started testosterone while we were in high school. And I was kind of like in that in-between phase. Like I didn't really know if I was trans or even really what trans was. He was honestly the first person to kind of like open up that door to me as to what transgender was. And I was just like, oh, okay, you know, yeah. This sound like me. And so yeah, like years later after we graduated, and I realized that this is who I am. I came out in 2020 and then started testosterone that following year. And so I hit him up and was like, hey man, you know, I'm trans. And you know, I just basically like admire you and have admired you from afar. Can you like give me some pointers and possibly recommend like your provider? I live in Oklahoma and it's extremely hard to find a doctor who will provide or prescribe HRT to you. And so I just didn't know where to start. So I was like, let me just ask him and maybe he, you know, can give me the 411. And so he did. And he was like, you know, this is my provider, sent me to the clinic or whatever. And literally that day I made an appointment. And it was very simple. The process was extremely simple. I will say that I am extremely lucky to have started HRT when I did. Because unfortunately, we're about to revert back to how it used to be. I don't want to make it seem all spooky and scary, but unfortunately, this is what it's looking like. It will be for trans people in this country, just with, you know, the Trump administration and all the they're doing. I don't even want to get into that today because I don't have the time. Unfortunately, it's going to be extremely hard for trans people to get their medication. But for me, when I first started, it wasn't difficult at all. I didn't have to have like a psychiatrist note. I didn't have to have a whole bunch of evaluations and stuff like that. It was just go make the appointment, meet up with the provider, and you got the prescription. And so that's basically what I did. I went and talked to my provider. She was extremely helpful, very informative. That's not a word. Informative. Yeah, she just, you know, told me what to expect. I had questions, which I would recommend you have questions prior to your appointment so that when you get there, you can just be like, hey, what am I going to expect? What are the pros and cons? Like, how long will I have to be on testosterone or estrogen if you're a trans woman or a non-binary person who wants to be on estrogen? What am I going to expect? You know, come up with a list of questions to ask prior to your appointment. So you just feel more prepared whenever you actually do get into the doctor's office. So yeah, I had my questions. She answered them and literally wrote the prescription that day. And the next day I went to go pick it up. It was a fairly simple process. I didn't have to prove that I was trans, like I just told her this is what I am. And she was like, I believe you, and wrote out the prescription, and I wish it was that easy from here on out, but unfortunately I don't think it will be. But anyways, that day that I got the prescription, I was really nervous because I was like, I'm gonna have to shoot myself in the leg, and I don't really want to do that. I don't want to do this. So my mom did it for me, and it was a very euphoric experience, I will say. I didn't notice any like drastic changes within that first month, except for bottom growth. If you know, you know. It was really weird because I was just like, what is going on? What's happening? I didn't know that it was gonna happen that fast. Like, I knew it was gonna happen because she told me, and the research that I did, it told me as well. But I was just like, I didn't know it was gonna happen like that. It happened overnight, I swear. And I was like, okay, this is, I guess there's no getting rid of this, whatever. And so that was the first change that I noticed. The second was my voice got deeper. And then the third was facial hair. And I don't have a lot of facial hair, I know, whatever. Genetics plays a big part of that. I've learned to live with it. It's fine. I don't really care. I do plan on in the future having like a beard transplant, so that'll like cancel that out anyway. So yeah, those first two changes are actually the first two pros on my list. Bottom growth and wait, no, I had three. Bottom growth, facial hair, and my voice deepening. Those were like top tier for me. I was like, yes. That's really what I wanted. And the fifth pro, and this is like honestly the last pro, which kind of sucks, but this is why I'm not on testosterone anymore, guys. I have more cons than I do pros, unfortunately. But the last one is I just felt really euphoric. I felt like myself, I could look in the mirror and actually like what I see and feel like this is what I was supposed to feel my entire life. And yeah, so it was very euphoric. I just was like 110% would recommend,
Get on that. Highly recommend.
But the cons. The first one was having to inject myself every 2 weeks. I am not needle shy at all. Like I don't have a problem with needles. I have a whole bunch of tattoos. Like I don't even know how many tattoos I have. Too much to count. I never have a problem with it. Like I'm always like, yeah, let's get another one. Let's get another one. I need it. Even when I go to get my blood drawn, because you have to get your blood drawn when you are on HRT, you're gonna have to get your blood drawn like every 3 months in the very beginning, and then every 6 months when you've been on for about like 2 years. It's fine for me. Like I don't flinch or anything when they put the needle in my arm. I'm always just calm, like, just watching it, the blood drain from my vein into the tube, and I'm perfectly fine. But it's something about having to inflict the pain on myself that I just can't get. Like it's a psychological thing that I don't really understand, but I can't put the needle in myself. Like every time I go to do it, I just want to, And so my mom would always have to do it for me, which was a toll on her because she didn't want to do it all the time either. She didn't like inflicting pain on her child either. So it was just like, and then having to have her do it all the time and constantly remember, to have her do it. It was a lot. So what ended up happening was I would just not do the shot. And that's a big no. Because your hormones are first of all, your hormones are already trying to get, acclimated to its new process in your body, to its new functioning in your body, because everybody already has testosterone and estrogen in their body. Cisgender men just have more testosterone than cisgender women. And for me, putting more testosterone in my body had to get used to that. But there would be times where I was inconsistent with my shots. So my body was trying to get used to not having as much testosterone as it once did. And it was just like this constant hormonal battle between my estrogen and my testosterone. And unfortunately, the estrogen was winning.
I'm gonna smoke the competition.
And I didn't reap all the benefits that I wanted to on a consistent level. Like 1 minute my facial hair would be growing tremendously, and there was a period in time where I had like a lot more facial hair, and then at another time it would just be like it's not there at all. And then my voice would be going up and down, which is to be expected within the first like year or so of your transition. But mine was like going up and down the entire time for the entire 4 years. And so the second con was acne. I had a lot of cystic, painful acne. I mean, it was so painful, y'all. Like, y'all don't even understand. I couldn't touch my face. Like, I couldn't like lay down on the pillow without like being in excruciating pain from the acne. And no matter how much water I drank, no matter how much I changed up my diet and exercised, I just couldn't get the hormones to act right. And so therefore it took a toll on my acne. I went to a dermatologist. They were like, this is just, this is because of the hormones. Like, they gave me some medication that just made me feel horrible, made me feel sick. And so I had to stop taking that. So it was like, I don't want to have to deal with that. So that was another reason why I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be on testosterone. Number 3 was my anger. I was really mad and aggressive all the time, which I've heard a lot of trans guys say that they've had that experience with being on testosterone. And I just didn't believe that was going to be me, because I'm not a naturally aggressive person. Like, I'm very calm, very chill. But when I started testosterone, that quickly went out the window. I was like mad at the littlest things. I could get from 0 to 100 in a millisecond. And it was really bad, because my family was like, what's going on with you? Like, you up here, bro, and you normally down there. What's going on? And so I didn't like that. And so that was another reason that I was like, maybe not. What was that, 4? 3? I don't remember. Anyway, the next con was I couldn't cry, y'all. Like, I know that's like, why would you want to cry? Because I like to cry. I don't know. It's my Pisces moon, I guess, but I do like to cry. And it's just like a releasing of emotions and energy that you can't really get, doing it. I mean, you can get it like working out and, stuff like that. But I don't know. It's just something about crying that it just feels so good to me. Like, a good cry is what I love.
Careful.
Yeah.
But I couldn't cry, and it made me mad. I was like, that was another thing that made me mad. Like, when I couldn't cry, I was all the way up here, so it was a lot. And the last con I would say would be the sweating, equaled with body odor. Guys, they don't talk about that enough. I was sweating profusely every single second of every single day. It was horrible. I would sleep with the fan on, like the overhead fan on, and then I would have a fan on my desk. Then I would sleep with the window open. Still wasn't enough. And it was horrible. And because I was sweating all the time, I stunk all the time. And it didn't matter how many showers I was taking. I would take like 2 to 3 showers a day, and it still didn't do anything, right? And then on top of that, I was going to the gym a lot because of all that testosterone. It made me just want to pump iron, which was another pro, I guess I could say, as I was a lot stronger and a lot more active at that time. But still, I was in the gym all the time. So I was sweating 10 times more, and stinking 10 times more. So it was horrible. Um, those are my pros and cons. Those are the lists. Again, I want to give a disclaimer. This is just my experience. I don't want to make it seem like every trans guy has experienced this or has gone through this or will go through this. This has just been my experience being off of being on testosterone for the past 4 years. I made the conscious decision to stop testosterone, unfortunately, because the cons outweigh the pros. And the pros are more so like a psychological feeling for me. It's like I can get the pros without being on testosterone, I've noticed. So like like I said, I plan on getting a beard transplant in the future. So that's gonna take care of the facial growth or the facial hair growth. And then I do plan on getting I do plan on getting a hysterectomy as well, which is going to take care of my cycle. And then as far as like my voice goes, it's irreversible regardless if I'm on testosterone or not. I'm still going to have a deep voice like this. This is as deep as my voice gets, and I'm fine with that. I'm comfortable with that. When I was on testosterone, it was a little deeper, not like huge, a significant change, but it was a little deeper. But I'm fine with where it is now. It's not as high as it used to be, so that's great. But yeah, so I've experienced more joy physically being off of testosterone than I have being on testosterone. So yeah, this little vow here, it did save my life. I will say that, guys. Because when I first started T, I was in a very weird mental state. Like I just didn't like what I saw when I looked in the mirror. I didn't like who I was. I didn't like any of that. And so now I'm in a space where I'm like, okay, I feel good, and the benefits of testosterone, the irreversible benefits of testosterone, like facial hair, like my voice deepening, like bottom growth, like all those things that I had dysphoria about in the past, are permanent changes. So I feel good within where I'm at right now in my transition. I still do want other things, other surgeries in the future, but that's going to happen regardless if I'm on testosterone or not. So yeah, that's my list. This video is longer than I wanted it to be, so I'm just going to end it here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps my channel out a lot. Also, don't forget to share and turn on your post notifications so you know when I post a video. All right. See you guys next time. Peace.